Hello everyone and welcome to an all-new episode of Meet the S-Class Digital. The S-Class is called the best car in the world by many automotive experts, surely for good reason, and one of them is definitely the pioneering safety features. So maybe you can start out by telling us a little bit about those.
I'm very happy to do so. It has always been in the DNA of Mercedes Benz to concentrate on safety. We introduced many safety innovations to the world. Two examples. Nearly 40 years ago, we introduced the front airbag into our vehicles. And 25 years ago, it was the ESP system that was introduced by Mercedes Benz. In the meantime, both innovations are available in nearly each car in the world.
So that's a very long, very proud history. And today you've brought along some new innovations. Why don't you tell us why we're standing here, Michael?
Well, we are looking at the rear seat airbag. And the rear seat airbag is another innovation, first ever in industry. We showed it last year in our experimental safety vehicle, right in that setup here. And that rear seat airbag takes into consideration very, very special situations in the rear of the vehicle.
And this speaks to one of the points that we established during our last episode of Meet the S-Class Digital, which is that you put a lot of focus on the rear seat passengers, also, of course, in terms of safety when it comes to your new flagship model, right?
We did, and we did for good reasons, because especially in the S-Class, the most important people often sit in the rear of the vehicle. Could be the boss, could be kids, and sometimes that's even the same person.
That could be the
right?
same person, definitely. So what is so special about these rear seat airbags?
Well, if we look at them, you see that it's not the complete cushion that is inflated by the gas, as it is in the front airbag, but here it's only tubular structures that are inflated by the gas, and the rest of the structure is very flexible. It is used ambient air that is sucked into the airbag rather than gas, and that gives another flexibility into the system.
And when you feel it right here, you can tell it is indeed extremely flexible right here, very sturdy. So this is new, also in terms of design. This is not what we're used to. What's so special about this design we're seeing here now?
Well, the speciality is the flexibility, and that is because in the rear of the vehicle, the spatial situations are quite different. You have adults sitting there, you have children, you have child seats in opposite directions or front directions, so totally different scenarios, and that's why we need a very, very flexible structure.
And when we listen to you explaining this, then of course we notice that there are so many factors that come into consideration during development and planning, right?
Absolutely. For example, where to put the airbag. This is why the engineers came up with a package that is easily packed into the rear of the front seat with a small gas volume. After the event, the gas is in the tubes, and once the tubes would encounter an obstacle or something, rather than just pushing and crashing into it, they can kind of wrap around it very flexibly, and that's why the whole structure adapts to the very situation of the crash.
All right, so that video shows us very well what you've been explaining, Michael. And also, when you talk about safety at Mercedes-Benz, I think it's important to mention that you're not just talking about safety during accidents or collisions, right?
Absolutely. What we are doing, we call it the integrated safety approach, because we look at the 360-degree customer experience. Safety features while driving, features that take care of when a crash is imminent or during the crash itself, and of course we're also looking at the area after the crash has happened. So that is the integrated approach where all our technologies are interlinked, active and passive safety.
So everything surrounding a safety or an accident, a very comprehensive approach to safety, I would say. The occupants of the S-Class, they benefit, of course, but it's not only about them.
Yep, it goes beyond that, because rather than only concentrating on the passengers in the vehicle, we have widened our scope, and we are also looking at pedestrians or vulnerable road users, cyclists, so people around the vehicle. That is also part of our integral approach.
The ultimate goal is, of course, accident-free driving, right? How close would you say are you to this goal?
Well, the S-Class is making another huge step into that direction, but of course, also we are unable to really put physics aside. But even if crashes are not fully avoidable, we at least can do a high contribution in lowering the impact and make that way less severe than in the past.
Now, we're here to learn all about the new S-Class, of course. So generally spoken, what other safety features are there that we should know about?
Well, Yasmin, I guess you understand that I can't spoil the world premiere that is coming in September.
Okay.
But maybe I can give one more example.
Sure.
We enhanced our pre-safe impulse sight system quite a lot in order to bring more functionality into that.
Could you tell me a bit more about that, or is it also still top secret?
Well, it is related to our brand new e-active body control, a system that is able to control each wheel and is able to also lift the complete body of the vehicle in case that a side crash is imminent. Actually, that is detected by the radar sensors, an active safety system that now is interlinked with another functionality from the passive safety, and both goes perfectly hand in hand.
So lifting the entire vehicle during a crash, how does that help during the accident? What is the benefit?
Well, the main idea is that the main forces of the crash are now in the body structure, which is way more rigid than the rest of the side structures. So we are able to get rid of many energetic influences that are then compensated by the body of the vehicle.
That makes sense. The entire technology does sound pretty cutting edge, doesn't it?
It absolutely is, and you know, it's also looking very impressive.
Speaking of looking very impressive, thank you, that's my cue. We do actually have a video for you that demonstrates this innovation safety function. Why don't we have a look right now?
Hello everybody, my name is Thomas Helmuth and I'm here at our Mercedes Test and Technology Center in Immendingen. My colleague Tommy and I are about to show you one of the many new safety features of the upcoming S-Class. For this demonstration, we are focusing on the feature Pre-Safe Impulse Sight, working together with the optional e-active body control. So both systems I just mentioned work in tandem to reduce the risk of an injury when another car hits the S-Class broadside. Of course, we want to keep Tommy safe, and that's why we are using a special target vehicle. Please, don't try this at home. So, let's get the car ready and run the test. We'll put Tommy into position. Now, the target is about to approach our new S-Class right here from the side. Radar sensors can recognize the impending side collision and send a signal to the control unit. And now, our e-active body control air suspension lifts the entire S-Class body by up to 8 centimeters. This, of course, depends on the triggering time and on the setting of the chassis during normal driving conditions. The approaching car is identified, and then the S-Class is quickly lifted. Now, at a greater height, a larger part of the impact energy can be absorbed by the sill instead of the doors, so that the deformation of the side can be reduced. Passengers in both the front and rear seats can benefit from this function. And that's not all. The chassis lift function works together with Pre-Safe Impulse Sight. With Pre-Safe Impulse Sight, a rapidly inflating air cushion in the seat pushes the driver or front passenger on the affected side towards the center of the vehicle, right before a side crash. And of course, it doesn't matter whether such a critical crash situation happens left or right. The air cushions are integrated in both front seats. With features like these, we can further increase the level of safety no matter where you sit. I'm sure Tommy also appreciates this. So, looks like everything is fine. Right, Tommy? Thanks for watching and stay safe.
And that is exactly how this air suspension system works and can help for more safety on the road. Michael, can you give us even more insights and some more detail about the e-active body control? What else is there to know?
Sure, happy to do so. Well, the e-active body control opens us a wide variety of driving dynamics in our driving programs. The air suspension there is able to individually control each wheel. And that gives a new dimension on how to control body movements along the dimensions of rolling, pitching and yawing of the vehicle.
That sounds fantastic for the passengers and the drivers, of course. How else, or how does it work exactly? Let's put it that way.
Well, it's two subparts, so to say. The air suspension levels out chassis movements, and the hydropneumatic part of the system is able to actively support and damp body movements.
Okay, I know I asked, but that is very tech talky right now. Let's move away from that and more towards another example. For example, driving comfort. Any highlights you can give us here?
Oh, absolutely. I would mention our new rear axle steering. The good thing about this, and it sounds maybe funny, that depending on the steering wheel speed, the rear wheels either go in the same or opposite direction of the front wheels.
Okay, that sounds intriguing technologically, but what is the benefit for the driver?
Well, to put it in a few easy words, it's more comfort and more agility at the same time.
Okay, fantastic. All right, I think now it's about time for both of those big benefits you've just mentioned to be shown in another little demonstration. Perhaps our viewers would like more explanation of the topic. And luckily, we do have another video that will explain it in detail. So why don't we have a look?
Hello everyone, welcome to our proving ground here in Immendingen.
We are here to show you a few of the ways in which we made the best car in the world even better. Jürgen, from what I've seen so far, your engineering team really did a great job.
What we did is, we integrated a rear axle steering feature that makes the S-Class one of a kind.
All right.
Depending on the speed and the steering wheel angle, the rear wheels move in the same or opposite direction of the front wheels. Above 60 km per hour, the wheels are steered in the same direction, which leads to more stability. Below 60 km per hour, the rear wheels move to the opposite direction. This results in more agility and also makes the car easier to steer. Thanks to the rear axle steering, the turning radius is reduced significantly by up to 2 meters. It's now comparable to that of the A-Class.
Now that's a pretty small turning radius for such a large car. But what does this mean? What is the real-life benefit?
I can show you. The rear wheel steering also makes parking the new S-Class super convenient, with a steering angle of the rear axle of up to 10 degrees.
Wow, seems like the S-Class has all the boxes checked in the agility category. Now, can I drive? Can I give it a shot, Jürgen?
You should probably use the active parking assistance.
Ah, Jürgen, you never trusted my parking. Wow, you guys went all out. The new S-Class really has all the bases covered.